Umamusume at first was just all the players having fun with the community, trying to beat Ura Finale, then flexing to their friends whenever they actually beat it. And then suddenly they realize that all of that is just you beating the tutorial of the game. So in this video, we're going to talk about why most players keeps on losing on Champions Meeting. With that, enough yapping and let's start the video.
君の愛馬がズキュンドキュン走り出しドキュンドキュンかけてゆくよこんな想いは初めて
The first reason is because the game is accelerated. Every banner and every event are advanced in the global server compared to the Japanese server. The reason why they do this is because they want us to eventually catch up to the early servers like Taiwan, Japan, and China. But this has a big effect not only in the game but most importantly to the new players who wants to play Umamusume. Because the main question that we have to answer is, can the players keep up? Unlike in the Japanese server where they had a month in between, for example the Gemini Cup to Cancer Cup, for us global server player, it's going to be 2.5 weeks at most, which is very tight. This means that you are either grinding every day, praying for good sparks so you can build your ace Uma on the next Champions Meeting. Or if you don't want to get burned out, you will have to pick your battles and only seriously participate, for example in Taurus Cup and Gemini Cup, then skip out on Cancer Cup. This means that you are missing out on potentially thousands of carats. Now I think that this would have been fine if the players got a proper tutorial from the game, but instead most of the player base had to rely to content creators just to get a tutorial of the game. Another reason is veterans completely dominating the Champions Meeting. As we all know by now, there can only be one winner on every round of Champions Meeting, which means that if you either unluckily get a veteran or a whale or both at the same time in your match, then you're basically just cooked. As someone who is very new to all of this, this is normal because you didn't even know how to get ready for Champions Meeting, like farming sparks and what support card should you use. That gets me to my second point. The amount of things that you need to know to be competitive, like for example spark farming, a very confusing mechanics especially for new players. They don't even know what is important, why is it important in this certain situation, or even why should they even bother doing it. This is the reason why most players got a rude awakening when they saw that they're getting bodied in the Taurus Cup. So either you adapt or you get left behind by the competition. Right now, I will say that, though I think that I already know a lot about Umamusume, I'm very sure that there's some information hiding somewhere that I still don't know. And I already have 400 hours in this game, which is literally saying something. The best thing that a player can do is either watch a video and understand the full content of it, or experience the mistakes that we've been making, which most would say that by then it's too late. I cannot stress enough that Umamusume is dominated by how much you know about the game. In Umamusume terms, veteran players at least have 1000 to 1200 wit, and us global players have at least 600 and at best 800 wit. And if you're casual, then even lower. Basically, we only know what we find, what is served to us, and the problem of how would you learn to know something if you don't know what you don't know. I'm being a bit philosophical here, but basically, what I'm saying is they know things more than us, and we don't know the answer that we're trying to find. So if you don't actively search beyond what the Umamusume content creators serve you guys at this time, then you will never be at the same level as the veterans. I'm talking about reading those spreadsheets and translating Japanese wikis, which feels very unnecessary when you're playing a game and just want to have fun. But still, I think that the content that is available in YouTube right now should be enough for you to at least be guaranteed finals round on Champions Meeting. But another problem arises: casuals who don't have enough time to actually consume these things. As I've said, you need to learn a lot of things to become at least decent in this game. And most players don't have the time that, for example, I spent to be able to know enough in this game. So if you're seriously aiming to win a Champions Meeting, you need to be constantly studying, especially because of this accelerated schedule, where after studying Gemini Cup, even though you're still racing, you're already studying how to get to finals in Cancer Cup. That is very exhausting for most players. Now this knowledge problem would be significantly lesser if you're a whale, since raw stats is still king in this game more than any skills that you can get. Now I'm going to say something that some would think is very controversial. This game is free-to-play friendly, but only if you know what you're doing. For example, in my case, to be competitive at first, I had to reroll for 3 days to get an MLB Kitasan Black because I know the importance of Kitasan Black in this game. But what about the others who had no time to reroll? Or just thought that it's impossible to get? Obviously, they're going to be behind. Right now, most of them would have shitty support cards and partner that with a shitty spark and you get a combination for failure. Another controversial topic for this game is the constantly shifting meta. Things like the Champions Meeting, new characters and new support cards shifts the meta frequently. Builds that may have worked last month is usually useless on the next, and even players who are invested in this game struggles to keep up with this. What more if you're just a free-to-play player who have to make do of what you got? But I will say this, I think that the constant shift of meta is vital for the survival of umamusume. As you all know right now, it is not us free-to-play players who are funding the company. It's the whales, the dolphins. Oh, by the way, to those people who are new to the gacha space, whales and dolphins are the terms used to describe a player who spends a lot of money on a gacha game. So these players are the ones who generates the income of the company. It's those people who put the food at the table for the workers of Cygames. And if the meta don't constantly shift, then those players would most likely get bored since they're just smashing every event even though they only built one Uma. So they don't want the whales to suffer from success. While I believe that these meta changes are important to keep the game fresh, being this frequent makes the players suffer. But wait, Cygames already saw this whale problem. They have the option to go for the intermediate version of the Champions Meeting, where all Umas can only have a B rating at max, and then again another problem arises. Veteran min-maxers who has mastered the craft of min-maxing B rating is now in your way. So as a free-to-play who don't know how to min-max B rating, it is mostly recommended to just play in the advanced competition since you have a much better chance to win over there. Sometimes I wonder why umamusume didn't have a global release in the first place. I mean, they got the financial support and all of that, so I wonder what made them decide to gatekeep it. And lastly, people who plays gacha game generally plays them to get their waifus. They're not here to win, they're here to have fun, which I think is the real winner in this game. But if you're someone who is still losing and really wants to win, here's an advice from a previous noob. If you really want to win in Champions Meeting, I would recommend you to watch at least one video a day about umamusume. It could be anything from sparks, training guide, whatever fancies your taste. Lastly is play the game every day because trust me, as you play the game, you will understand something that us content creators can teach you. You might notice it or you might not, but it will always be in your brain. Before I end this video, I believe that there will come a time where most of us players, even casual players, would know what to do and become at least competitive on the Champions Meeting. But right now, I know that most are frustrated with the results that they got. I mean, it's like receiving a report card in school saying that you failed, so I understand the frustration. So I'll leave you with a question. What would you change to fix this problem? With that, subscribe if you enjoyed the video.